but my actual intuition about payments really changed when I really started to understand, specifically because I kept going back between India and Chennai for a couple of years, and I realized how payments and how advanced other countries were. And again, for everybody who is sitting here today using their UPI and bringing out their phone, you have to go back to an era almost where India was behind in almost every other country. We
Mhm.
were actually the laggards. We had no, like, even the concept of having a card in your wallet was a very elite premium thing.
The reason I believe in strengths is, and we'll come to what strengths mean and have an interaction with you. We, I don't think any of us in here as well as not here have problem in determining what we are not good at. Easy, no problem. We don't need any help in that. But a lot of times, because of the upbringing we have had, not to blame the upbringing, but the way we have grown up, the culture, the environment, the system as in, the high school, university, college, etc., etc., etc. Let's say you've done in you have 10 subjects and you've done in 9 subjects very well. Yeah, very good. You've done in 9 very well, and we quickly move on to the 10th. Hey, beta, why couldn't you do it very well? What has happened? There's a lot of focus on that. And as much as we do need to focus on developmental areas and gaps, technically when we are good, it's of no use if we don't know what our strengths are. And we can allow strength to expand, to use it, to be more aware of it in order to help ourselves in the areas we need to develop.
What I just talked about, corporate bank and retail banks are different in the way they offer the similar services, but corporate banks would be offering them at a much higher scale, while retail banks would be offering to individual customers. And we also have the concept of commercial banks who cater to small businesses. But sometimes commercial and corporate banks can be used interchangeably, depends on the banking structure. Other name you would be hearing is investment bank. So people always ask, so is corporate bank an investment bank? So that's also a yes or a no. So while in corporate banking, there are some of the services I just mentioned about, like loans and savings and basic money management. The investment parts of the corporates are sometimes taken up by the investment bank arm of the overall bank. And by investment banking, it means more of the securities market, working with much bigger deals. But purely when you're talking about what an investment bank does, the investment bank comes into play when the corporates are doing a one-time transaction, like initial public offering or an IPO. They are taking out new equity. They are giving out new loans, new debt, or they are wanting to have a merger with another company or acquire another company. So all these big one-time transactions.
Yeah, I think, Jaya, I completely can relate to the story that you just mentioned. I think digital banking is a story that has unfolded in India in the best possible manner and the most interesting and disruptive manner, we can say. So while Jaya mentioned ATM, when I entered banking, it was at a stage of a mobile banking, net banking revolution taking place in the banking industry. But from there on to, moving to places where the customer exists. Earlier, it was about bringing the customer to our platforms and getting them onto mobile banking and net banking. And then now moving to a WhatsApp banking where the customer exists and we are offering banking. And even beyond that, what we see now, the banking as a service or open banking as a business model has become so prominent for all the banks. So I think there's a lot of science behind how digital banking has evolved over the years.